I like the idea of feeling good, and I like the idea of mind control. This is Esther speaking. And I like the idea of thinking thoughts that feel good to me. But Abraham, I like manifestations. I like manifestations. And what we said to Esther, what we want you all to hear is, of course you like manifestations, just don't ask for the manifestation prematurely of the energy work. Because if you get the manifestation prematurely of the energy work, the manifestation won't be satisfying in a sustainable way. Of course, you can pick up a telephone and make almost anything happen that you want to. There are a lot of things that many of you could go do right now if you just wanted to do it. You can make things happen. But there's a big question. Am I making it happen, or am I letting it happen? Am I going with the flow of the energy? Is the genesis of what I'm making happen, is it coming from the source of who I am? Or am I making it happen, and is it a diversion from the way the energy is flowing? Because anything, here it is, anything that is even the slightest diversion from the way the energy is flowing will not be sustainable. We'll say it again. Anything that is the slightest diversion from the energy flow will not be sustainable. So that means only the next logical step, only the next logical step will do.
I can't write fast enough.
Anything that is the slightest diversion from the way the energy flows is not sustainable. So if you're flowing energy toward things that you don't want, and you're trying to take action about things that you do want, you can't buck your own current. And if you have been really thinking about what you want, if you've spent a lifetime building this vortex, and you have lifetimes, and if your inner being's all involved and all integrated in what you want, and if there is this powerful understanding of who you are and what makes you happy, and you're sideways of it, nothing that you do is going to make it work. You've got to get current with the current. You've got to get in flow with the flow. You've got to be a vibrational match to your energy stream, which means you got to familiarize yourself with it. So follow us just for a minute, and then we want to hear you. We've written a lot of books. You've probably seen them around, and in them there are a lot of processes, and every one of the processes is to help you to become a flower with your own flow. In other words, these processes that we offer you are based upon this absolute knowing. You already told the universe what you want. You've already built it in the vortex. It's already a done deal, and it's already ripe and ready for your receiving of it. So what you want is already accomplished, but you've got to get ready for it. You've got to ready yourself for what you created. You've got to be vibrationally ready for what you've created. So the processes that we offer you are not to help you create it. You already did that. The processes that we offer you are to get you to be ready for what you've already created, to get you in sync with what you've created. The work is to get in the flow of the flow. The work is to find the stream that feels the best. It's like being on the river in your raft. You ever done that? It's so much fun. And sometimes the river is wide, and so the current is slow, and sometimes the river is more narrow, and so the current is fast, and sometimes there's a current over there that if you just paddle over there a little bit, you'll get a little better ride, because the currents are already underway, and your singular work is to position yourself within the currents that you've already established. But that requires some trust. It requires trust that you knew what you were doing when you were born, trust that your inner being knows, trust that the sorting and sifting gave you honest requests about things, trust that your inner being is aware of what you're asking for, and most important, trust that your inner being knows where you stand right here, right now, this red hot minute, in relationship with what you want. And when you come to really know all of that, and so you're not trying to accomplish the manifestation for manifestation's sake, you just want to get in the flow for getting in the flow's sake, then the manifestations that result from being in the flow will not just be satisfying when they manifest. But they are. They are. But they feel good while they are in the process of flowing, unfolding. You cannot have a happy ending to an unhappy journey. It just doesn't happen. And you don't have any power over there in the manifestation yet. So you got no choice other than to be having a happy journey. You got to find some way to make yourself happy in the journey, even absent the manifestation. That's the secret to success. That's the secret to joy. You got to find a way to be happy in the absence of the manifestation, because you're experiencing the presence of the flow that's going to create the manifestation, but the manifestation hasn't come yet. But it doesn't matter, because you're in the flow, and it was the flow that you wanted anyway. Really, it was.
In Abraham's opinion, we see hundreds of thousands of people each day of our lives, and yet there are few that come along that you may just have eye contact with, but in that moment there's like an immediate energy exchange. Can you help explain that?
Well, law of attraction is matching you up.
Because I've seen these as like little messengers along my path, you know.
Well, that's that sweet spot that we're talking about. That's being in the receiving mode, so that you're in that receptive mode, so that you're receiving the clues and the signals and the impulses when there's someone in your frequency. You understand frequencies, you understand CB radios and the way they talk to each other. Esther really likes the idea of a CB radio. She had them in her buses, because when you're driving down the freeway, there's all those people in all those cars, and all of them have a cell phone, and you've got one too. You just don't know their number. So you can't call that guy over there and say, hey, your wheel's on fire, because you don't know what his phone number is. But if you've got a CB radio and you're broadcasting into a frequency that he's already tuned to, he'll hear you. And he'll say, oh, thanks for letting me know. I did not know my wheel was on fire. The way law of attraction is working is more like the CB radio, in that you're broadcasting all of the time, and others have got their radios on out there. Now, there are lots of different stations that you can be on. Esther liked the Truckers channel because they were road warriors. And if there was ever a road closure or a shutdown from an accident, Esther would get right on the Truckers channel, because they all knew what the routes around it were. They didn't have much good to say about the four-wheelers on the road. That's what they call those of you with only 4 tires. The 18-wheelers are king on the road. But there was a lot of good information, so Esther could just listen in. She could just listen into their broadcasting. Well, law of attraction is always listening in on your behalf. So whatever you're broadcasting, law of attraction is listening in and matching you up with that and that and that and that. So that's happening all day, every day. But the thrill comes when you recognize the alignment. Your inner being knows where all of those contacts are. Your inner being knows where all of the potentials to satisfy you are, every one of them. Your inner being knows enough things to satisfy you in 10 different ways in every moment of your life. Your inner being knows everything you want and all of the things that will please you, and knows right where they are. And when you're in that open place, then you're flowing with those impulses. Then you're having really an exceptional life experience. It's not just those big, meaningful glances from across the room and rendezvous with people that you want to live happily ever after with. It's not only that. It's that and so much more. What you want to be addicted to is the feeling of alignment, the plugging the toaster in. Because in the feeling of that, then everything else follows.
You've helped me reset something that I've said for a while, that alignment is better than love making with another individual. And the frame of the reset is to make love with life.
How about both? Plug in the toaster and
then if every relationship comes from that place of alignment, I'm done.
There's one piece.
I think I have to go to the toilet right now. Sorry. Shit, did I just say that out loud?
We're not going to hold you up long, but there is something that we want to say. Something that is really good for you to integrate into your knowing right now, because there is so much that you know and understand, and always on the brink of more. That's where you stay these days. But this is a piece that we really want you to consider. Your inner being never, ever, ever, ever looks back. So when you examine past relationships for the things that you want to overcome or for the flaws in them, it's of no value, because while you were living them, that's when they were producing the value by putting the things in the vortex. So since in real time, as in your real, what you call physical time, as you're watching your clock and interacting with someone, as you were putting things into your vortex, your inner being knows what all of those new preferences are, and that's the standard, and that's the signal that your inner being is offering. So you might say that your inner being on your behalf is just putting engine after engine after engine after engine after engine after engine after engine in the direction of where you want to go, and law of attraction is responding to all of that concentration and all of that focus and all of that knowing that your inner being has about you. So just feel the power of that and realize the potential if you were to let go and really just let that fly. But when you recall a relationship or ponder how you could have done it differently or what you would have liked to have been different, you put engine, 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 engine. You don't let the now be the free-flowing, pure, fantastic, energetic place that it could be as you contemplate what was. And so we're just going to say it again. Your inner being never contemplates what was. Your inner being only contemplates what is. And whatever it is that your inner being is contemplating is what equals the point of attraction that is coming. So that's why that calling is so strong. Now stay with us, because you're right on the brink of understanding something. Your inner being never focuses on what was. Your inner being only focuses upon what is. Drum roll, please. So here's the thing. What is in terms of manifestation is not the what is we're talking about. That's the only thing that your inner being is focused upon. Everything that you ever lived that you thought went wrong a little bit, whether it was in a relationship or anything else, that you ask for an improvement, that improvement is what is active and being called to by law of attraction. So can you see how, as you talk about what is, or as you talk about what was, you just hold yourself in this limp place where engine, 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 engine in the wrong direction. You don't let yourself go with the flow that your inner being has already got revved up and going for you. Somebody earlier was worried that their inner being might be calling all of the shots. And we say, your inner being is calling the shots that you ask it to call. Your inner being is remembering everything you liked and everything that you wanted, and is integrated it into every other thing that you liked and every other thing that you wanted, and has a point of attraction that is so working for you that if you would just chill out and give up the struggle and give up the battle and give up the excuses and give up the justification and give up the rationalization and give up the need to explain it to anybody, and just live happily ever after on the track that you set out, that your inner being has put all the engine juice in, it could be so much easier than any of you are letting it be. You got that, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been working on. That's good.